Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the 3 tools you can use to return to your authentic self or original self, whichever word you resonate with. First off, we need to understand what is your authentic self. And for my non-spiritual people, you can just look at this as your youngest version of yourself. The child that you came as, the pure innocence before any societal programming kicked in. But if you're a bit more spiritual, we could take it one step further and actually connect to the original purity and innocence of energy that we manifested from, which is the universe. And whichever one of these resonates with you is absolutely fine, because either way, these 3 tools are going to help you. Tool number 1, qualities as a child. I want you to think back as far as you can to remember all the qualities you've had as a child, good, bad, and in between, whichever way you perceive them. I want you to write them down. And once you've written them down, I want you to ask yourself, which of these have you toned down the most as you have become an adult? I want you to see how you're speaking about yourself and your younger self and how this has evolved over time. And once you've done this, you're then going to go, and if you're able to, ask family members, siblings, you can ask your parents, you can ask your cousins, you can even ask friends that you had when you were a child what they perceived you as when you were a child, what qualities they saw you had. And the language that they use is very, very key, because it's going to tell you a lot about why you have created certain stories you have. But this isn't to judge them. This is for us to gain perspective and understanding so that we can gain control over our own story again. And the best way for us to do this is by writing them all down. Once you've done that, we're going to move on to the second phase of this tool. Phase 2 of this tool is changing your perception of these things, changing the story that you have of them. So for example, when I was younger, I was told that I was very bossy. But actually, that means I showed signs of leadership at a very, very young age. Do you see the difference in the way that sounds from being bossy to being a leader? Another example is child wanting lots of things, and as a kid we do. But instead of it being something positive, we're often like, oh, they don't care, they don't like things, they're selfish, they're this, they're that. We have this whole story that we create. However, if we look at it as a kid that wants a lot of things is just a big dreamer, has big ambitions, wants a lot out of life. And that's something that I feel like sometimes we drill out of ourselves as we get older because we think it's selfish. But it's actually the way in which we do these things that make it selfish or not. I feel like if you do things in disregard to others, that can be very damaging and not very nice. But if you're doing something for the gain and the love of it and doing it for the collective, like, you should have all the things you want. Like, if you're gonna do great things with it, why not? Tool number 2, and this has to be one of my favorites to practice, so we're going to practice it together this week. At some point, you are going to wake up this week and pretend as if it's the first time you're experiencing everything in life. Going back to that simplicity and playfulness of life is so key and so important to connecting to your authentic self. The reason that this is so key and important is because firstly, you're practicing mindfulness. You're practicing being present. But as you're doing that, you're noticing the small, tiny details that you wouldn't in a normal day, which is then making you more grateful. And by being more grateful, you are more high vibrational. And by doing that, you're collectively just going to have a better day and a better life. By practicing in the view of a child, you are not only going to have a great day, but you're also going to feel fantastic afterwards. Especially if you're an overthinker, I would highly recommend practicing this as many times as you can in a week, just because it helps you become more present and really gets you out of your head and into your doing and into your now, which is so important for overthinkers. Here we aren't just using past programming, we're actually creating new experiences for ourselves. And that's really going to help your mentality look at it from a more growth perspective as well, because it's learning new things all over again, even if it's things that you have previously experienced. When I'm saying intricate details, I mean, I want you to look at your toothbrush in the morning and be like, oh my God, look at the bristles. Oh my God, look at the color. Oh my God, how does it feel on my teeth? All of these little things, because what we don't realize is there's such small things we take for granted, and if we just bring a bit of mindfulness to our day, it will really help us enhance everything we experience, which is ultimately bringing back to our authentic expression, to our core selves. It is so simple and so key, but now we're going to move on to tool number 3, and that is sitting in your energy. Sitting in your energy basically means going past your mind, past your body, past your emotions to the core essence of your being. And we can do this through meditation, and it's so important that we do because it detaches us from everything that we're not to just concentrate on our energy and on our being. When we do this, we're able to channel, we can then focus on everything that we're doing coming from our being as opposed to just doing things quite mindlessly. Everything else can come and go because it's just a creation of what we've experienced here. It's not necessarily our complete truth. And by having, like I said, that detachment in that space, it just helps us have more control over the story that we actually want to create, rather than just being stuck in our past or stuck in what was. And although the past can be a great place for us to learn from, it's not a place that we should live from. If you found this video helpful, click that subscribe button so that you can get new videos every week. Like and comment down below and share any tools that you use to connect with your authentic self. Remember to share your journey with me by following me on social media and tagging me on your stories. I'd love to hear from you because we're in this together, we've got this, and I love you.